What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today. We're going to do a deep dive into it at the request of Summer Girl. Summer, you're asking if I could do a deep dive on XCN because you hear all the price predictions and stuff, but you want to know why, right? You want to know why. And to answer that, I'm going to try to answer that, right? I feel like I'm not the best with talking about fundamentals, but with XCN, I'm pretty familiar, so we're gonna get into it, right? Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys want to. I want to start this off with the same way, I guess, that I would talk about any DeFi project, right? Why DeFi is so compelling of a sector in the crypto markets to me. And the reason why is because I think that banks, and I think a lot of us can agree that banks are kind of the arbiters of they're the ones that they're the gatekeepers of the financial world. They really are. And coins like XCN are going to break the barrier. They're going to take away the power of banks, right? You hear that with crypto, they're going to take away the power of the banks. How's that going to happen with this kind of stuff? They're going to take away the power. I'll explain how. Okay, so with banks, and the main reason that banks make money, they're in the business of generating debt, right? Debt. You deposit $100, you deposit $100,000, $100 million, whatever it is at the bank, and as soon as you deposit it, they're taking that money and lending it out to somebody else. Not you, somebody else. And how much money are you getting paid off of that? Nothing. What, a small percentage. Like not even a percentage, or 1%, depending on what bank you use. I mean, I know there are some banks that pay higher rates, or credit unions or whatever, but but that's not the point. It's not enough. They use fractional reserve banking, which is what we have, allows banks to use 1%, allows them to keep 1% or less, I'm pretty sure, of what you deposit, and they can spend or lend the rest of it, right? They don't have to have it all on hand legally. They can do this, and you don't get a dime from it, right? DeFi projects, decentralized finance, that's centralized finance, banks, right? DeFi, decentralized finance, allows people to borrow, to not just borrow money, but to lend it to people who want to borrow it. And then you, the person who's lending, you're the person that gets rewarded for it. You get a reward directly for lending your tokens, your cryptos, your wealth to other people. There's no intermediaries, there's no banks, it's just the network that's your intermediary, right? There's a third party, it's the network, but there's not a banker. And as a person who's using whatever network it is, that's very valuable. That's beneficial to you. But beyond, because not everybody wants to be a lender. Most people want to borrow money. And that's fine, if you want to borrow money. But when you borrow money, I don't know if anybody's taken a loan out ever in their life, but if you take out a loan, you have to go through a whole process, man. You gotta like schedule an appointment. You gotta get approved. You gotta tell them what you want the loan for. You gotta provide collateral. Yeah, you've got to you have to have a good credit score. You get interest rates and all this stuff. Blah blah blah. They tell you how much you can or cannot get lent out. Based on all these things, you got to put on your suit and tie. You got to shower and dress up. You got to drive to the bank, depending on where you live. If you live out in the country, like I do, I don't really like live out. I just live in a small town. I shouldn't say live out in the country. You might have to drive a certain distance just to get to your bank. You know what I mean? In my case, 30 minutes. And it can be an inconvenience, right? With DeFi, you don't need to do any of that. You can do it in your skivvies. You can do it butt naked on the couch, literally getting a loan on the couch without a credit score, without the approval of a banker, without scheduling up an appointment or any of that stuff. You have to put up collateral, but that's how it is with any loan, and that makes sense. No one's just going to give you money for free. There are some people who are nice out there, philanthropists and stuff like that, but mom and dad maybe, if you do your chores, right? But no, there's nobody that's just going to give you money for free. You have to put up collateral. And that's what projects like OnyxCoin do, right? They take away credit scores. Literally, no, hear this, right? OnyxCoin is a big deal because, and it's not just OnyxCoin, it's DeFi protocols as a whole, but OnyxCoin is a very good DeFi protocol. It takes away the necessity for credit scores, right? Imagine anybody right now who has a bad credit score, who has a good credit score. It's something that you're concerned with, something that you're proud of, something that matters to you. Whether it's good or bad, it matters. It affects your life. You need a good credit score to have lower interest rates on your loans and stuff like that, and then getting higher loans approved and stuff like that. Sometimes it doesn't matter, even if you have collateral. Banks won't give you loans, or certain lenders won't give you loans if your credit score is low enough. It doesn't matter. With crypto, it doesn't matter. There's no credit score at all. It's going to get rid of it, right? And the thing is, when you take away the credit score, whenever you have the ease of access to borrow money where you don't need approval, you just got to put up collateral, which is, you have to do that at the bank anyway. So what? The one thing that's similar is you have to put up collateral. Everything else is different. You can do it at the comfort of your own home. You can do it at midnight. You can do it on a holiday. You can do it on the weekend. You can do it whenever the hell you want to. You can take out multiple loans across multiple protocols. You can't do that with the bank. You take out multiple loans, they're like, no, you gotta pay this one off or condense this. We don't like you to take out multiple loans. Try it. I'll tell you. It's not something that they're fond of doing. Maybe for different things, but it doesn't matter. You don't need to answer to anybody. You don't need to tell anybody what the loan's for. This is powerful stuff. And the reason why this is big, stuff like this, you guys, a really cool thought is that interest rates right now, you take a loan from the bank, they're in the business. Banks are businesses of issuing debt. What happens whenever they are the less attractive business to issue debt and crypto is more attractive? The rates are competitive. You can lend, you can borrow through these DeFi protocols. You can stake or put up your crypto as collateral when you're borrowing, and then that crypto that you're putting up as collateral can grow in value also while you're borrowing, right? What happens to the banks? They're going to have to adjust to bring business in, to not lose business to these DeFi protocols. Interest rates are going to go away. They're going to go down a lot. And in fact, I think that because of OnyxCoin, because of coins like OnyxCoin, DeFi protocols, banks will inevitably have to pay you to take out a loan. Yes, negative interest rates. You'll take out a $10,000 loan, and when you pay it back, it's like $9,900, $9,000. Well, probably not negative 10%, but like $9,900, $9,950, $9,990. It could be a negative 0.01% interest rate. They're literally giving you money away for free, and that might sound crazy, and it might be something that you can't wrap your head around, but banks have already done this before whenever they need to stimulate the economy. The Bank of Japan did it, I don't know how many years ago, but they did it a little while ago. They literally lowered their interest rates so much that they were negative. They were paying people to take loans to stimulate the economy. That's literally what happened. And the same thing's going to happen, whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter. Because of DeFi, because of the ease of access that people will have to access this very important fundamental aspect of the financial ecosystem in the world, which is lending and borrowing, they're going to have to be more competitive. They're not going to hold, they won't be the gatekeepers anymore. That's a fundamental value in why I personally think DeFi protocols and are very valuable, and why crypto as a whole, one of the most implementable and fundamental values of crypto is to implement DeFi, to have this kind of financial decentralized ecosystem brought to us, brought to the masses, brought to the public for anybody to access, right? Because at this rate, it's a pretty exclusive system. You have to play by their rules, but there's no rules. Credit scores are going to go away. You got a bad credit score now, wait 20 years. They're going to go away. It's literally not going to matter. I'm telling you right now, like it's not going to be a thing. Do you have a bad credit score? Do you have a good credit score? Have you worked your ass off to get a good credit score like I have? Great. That's awesome. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter at all. DeFi is only going to get better, and banks are only going to get more thirsty for your money. So in that sense, that's not necessarily why I like OnyxCoin in specific, but it's why I like coins like OnyxCoin, right? I've analyzed a few different DeFi protocols, getting more to OnyxCoin specifically. Aave, Compound, XCN, YFI, plenty of them. More than that, I'm drawing a blank right now. And when I read the white paper of all of these projects, they all interest me. They all seem interesting, but OnyxCoins seemed more versatile. Okay, this is like a year and a half ago, right? It seemed more versatile to me. It seemed like it was something that was more inclusive or compatible with more forms of crypto that you can borrow. It's not so selective. And that interested me in itself, right? You've got the staking protocol, which pays out better than any other crypto, literally in the top like 200, probably better than most cryptos that exist, right? There are some that have high APRs, but they're brand new and they're low market caps, and They have lockup periods whenever you stake. OnyxCoin, you can stake it and unstake it one day after the other. You don't have to, there's no lockup period. That was back whenever I read the white paper, right? That was back then. It was just a DeFi project that was lending and borrowing. That was it. And you had staking, sure. Now OnyxCoin is a whole different thing, man. They've got AI agents. We've got AI agents. We've got a layer one. We've got our own mainnet system with Goliath Network, right? They've got the Onyx ledger. If you don't know what any of this means, look it up. Look it up, right? Talking about adding value, right? Working on the mainnet. It's not perfect, but they're working on it, right? They're partnered with Chain, which is, or Chain and Onyx are like the same thing. I don't know. They're not the same thing, but they are, whatever. And that's valuable in itself. Chain's a very, very big contributor to the crypto ecosystem. AI agents are a big deal, man. AI agents are a really big deal. AI agents, there are coins that their whole focus, their whole reason for existence, multi-million dollar, $10 million, $100 million projects, their whole existence is to have an AI agent that can help you trade, that can help you like sift through the blockchain data, whatever, make the best decisions for yourself, follow other traders, follow what's happening in social medias, whatever. OnyxCoin has that as a cherry on top, right? There's whole projects that's their whole aspect is that, and OnyxCoin has that, right? We've got various things beyond that. We've got a lot of various things beyond that. Let's look at OnyxCoin right now. XCN, Onyx, hold on. Onyx. Don't mind any noises that you hear. That's just my adorable daughter. Let's see. Hold on. Always remain on Ethereum as well as XCN staking and governance. Be aware of imposters. Yes. Okay. Let's see. They've got polls. I mean, it's a DAO. Sure, you've got governance and stuff like that. That's great. OnyxCoin does, from a fundamental perspective, it does have a fixed supply, right? It's got a fixed supply. It's not inflationary. Oh yeah, that's a very important thing. Not only is it not inflationary, sure, right now momentarily it is, right? The circulating supply is here, max supply is here. Once it gets to that max supply, then it will be stationary. It's inflationary to a point, then it's stationary. And actually, it won't be stationary. It will be deflationary. It is deflationary. There is a burn mechanism in OnyxCoin. The US dollar that we compare everything to, there's no burn mechanism in the dollar unless you're burning your dollars physically, right? There's no burn mechanism. They print out more every day. I don't care. We could all burn $100 right now. They're printing out. There's going to be more dollars insert. Everybody watching this video, multiply it by 1,000. We could all burn $100 today. There will be more money printed within the next week than we could than even twice that could do. You know what I mean? Like or even more than that probably. Even like 10 times more than that or 5. I don't even know, man. They print out new money every single day, every single year. OnyxCoin, while temporarily inflationary, will at some point become deflationary. There's a burn mechanism. From a fundamental standpoint, that adds value, right? Fully diluted valuation is $631 million. The market cap is 436. Even fully diluted, this is a low enough market cap right now where we could still see a 100x this cycle. It's a low enough market cap with the potential that you have in this ecosystem. You could definitely see a $63 billion market cap by the end of the cycle, just at the fully diluted valuation, let alone at the current market cap, right? Talking about growth potential and stuff, but that's not a fundamental value. Getting to the Onyx DAO X.com page here. Let's see. Yeah, they've got that, which they've got stuff going with Base, which is nice. The Onyx ledger is pretty cool, right? Gasless or feeless transactions and stuff like that. Gas-free transactions. AI V1 is now live with advanced, and then by the way, this is on June 11th, right? They had the AI agent come out like over, I forget how long ago it was, but this is like a fresh update. They're updating it all the time, right? Modeling, tuning, and code optimization. Token creation is now more affordable than ever. Easily deploy solutions on the XCN blockchain, from community utilities to complex business automation. That's awesome right there too, right? The Onyx DAO has now optimized support. Yeah. Well, that's cool, but whatever. That might help, but that's not like adding to. I guess it adds to the fundamental value, but where is it? Let's see. The Onyx point system is pretty cool too, right? Participating in the ecosystem, participating in the whitelisted assets that we accept on the Onyx ledger allow you for points, which puts you in the running for receiving airdrops and various rewards and stuff like that. You don't just have to stake. And beyond staking, you can farm too with by adding to the liquidity. There's all kinds of things you can participate in just beyond investing that adds to this thing's value, right? I feel like I'm running out of steam here, man. Let's see. Hold on. Have you deployed? I actually haven't deployed the Onyx AI. Zeely, I think that's pretty cool what they're doing with Zeely too. You know, just doing all kinds of things to help promote the to get the word out there and get the name out there. But that's adding to the fundamental value, sure, but it's not like that big of a deal. I think it's cool, but it's not like a super big deal. Let's see. Who's already using USDC on the yeah. Currently has 20% allocation for passive points. Accrual is the new point system. XCN 25%. Let's see. I don't really know what else to say. I thought this was cool, actually, right? Non-custodial, and this is what I was saying earlier, non-custodial gas-free wallet built on the XCN ledger and designed for users to access their funds anywhere they go. That's big, man, right? Gas-free, using the ecosystem, you can do transactions on the ledger. Like, that's pretty cool, and that's important, right? Especially in any kind of financial institution. Like imagine sending large amounts of money. Imagine wiring like $1 million right now. They're gonna charge you like 8% or whatever the dollar fee is. They're gonna maybe it's less percent whenever you're wiring that much money. I don't know. I've never wired $1 million before, but if you send it with this, it's literally free. It's gas free, completely free. Maybe there's like a small fee, right? Let's see. Other stuff. Yeah, the AMA, that's cool and all, but not really. I feel like I've covered it all. So I'll probably just end that there. I don't know. Yeah. I'm running out of steam. I feel like this isn't the ending you deserve, but it's the ending that you get, right? I hope that I've answered your question as to why I think it's valuable, right? Something that I genuinely am really excited about is the AI protocol on this thing. There are literally whole entire projects that their whole existence is just AI. But you've got, with OnyxCoin, you've got governance, you've got utility, you've got staking, you've got the DeFi protocol, you've got AI built into it. Like literally you have AI agents on there. You've got social networking with Zeely and with the Onyx points program. They're like those are 6 fundamental values. Any one of them stand alone. There are so many crypto projects that are just based on any one of those things stand alone. This thing is all of those and more wrapped into one. And I know over the past 5 minutes or so, I've probably just been like scanning through this to look for anything else that I've missed, but I think I've covered everything, right? It might not have been, I don't have a script, right? And I'm forgetful. But beyond all of that, you know, reading the white paper, there's and talking about the fundamentals of the tokenomics too. I'm bullish on that as well, right? There is a release. They release like 280 million, 300 million tokens, something like that, every single month, and that's like less than 1% of the supply every single month. But over time, right, it's probably a higher rate of inflation than the dollar is right now, obviously, per year. But over time, that fully diluted valuation is going to be realized, and there won't be more added to it. Over time, we're going to be burning. That's another thing, right? On a fundamental level, that's actually a very valuable thing. Any token that has a successful burn implemented into them, they tend to do very well over time and grow. If it's just like a one-off thing and they burn some tokens, but they're printing more, big deal, whatever. And right now, that's kind of what's happening with OnyxCoin. We're burning some tokens, but we're printing more. There's going to be a point where that's no longer true, where every day that goes by, every month that goes by, the supply is dwindling. Now you weigh that versus the US dollar, just in a simple, that in itself, you weigh that versus the US dollar, this thing's only going to go up in value over time. Someone asked me how high I think this thing could go, and you know, my answer's changed because, and I want to make sure that I'm on the right screen here. My answer has changed. Some people have asked me how high I think this thing can go. Are you going to sell by the end of this cycle? Does it have longevity? Is it going to be around next cycle? From back here, I thought, yeah, I'm going to sell all out by the end of the cycle. I'm not looking back. I'm not getting into it. As of now, I'm genuinely considering staking my XCN from now all the way through this bull market, all the way through the next bear market, and just adding more. And that's it, because I do believe in the longevity of this thing. I think that it's got a long way to go. There are big figures backing this up. Pantera Capital is invested in OnyxCoin. I'm fairly positive. Hold on. Let me just look that up. Pantera's portfolio, yeah. Or it's chain that they're invested in. Same thing, though. Same thing. No, can I not? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Let's see. Is it Onyx DAO? No, I think it is just chain. Yeah. But they're partners. It's the same thing, right? Let's see where chain right there. They're invested. If they're investing in chain, Pantera, one of these like humongous institutional investing firms, is investing in chain for crypto. They're also investing in OnyxCoin. There's some big players behind OnyxCoin, and some people are upset because there's a certain lack of transparency with the people who are behind this project, and I'm upset with that too. You know, I wish we had a little bit more transparency in that note too, but I don't think, no offense to the conspiracy theorists out there. I've been in the market now. This is my third bull market. I've been around since 2015 in the crypto markets. I've seen scams. I've seen scams happen, man. Whenever they pump and you've got people who are shady figures that you don't know their faces or their names behind closed doors, they pump, they dump, they leave you. It's bye-bye. They got their money. They're running. There's some unfortunate stuff that happened back here, and that's why that dump was so intense. Also adding to the effect that we were in a bear market in crypto back then as well. But they're building. They're building all the time. They're literally building all the time. We got an AMA, and I think that there are some questions that I want to ask. There's a lot of people that other people want to ask too. They have the AMA here. Let's see, where is it? They haven't made an announcement when that date's going to be, but I have a funny feeling that I'm going to get my way. I feel so special. I think it's going to be on the 22nd or the 23rd. Is that the date that I said? 22nd, yeah, 22nd or 23rd. Either at the end of the crypto week or the beginning of the stock week, right? Something like that. Let's see. Where is it? And we can ask all of our questions there and talk to the DAO and maybe some developers from chain and everything like that. I'm running out of steam, you guys. I really am running out of steam. So I'm probably going to end the video there. But I hope that answers your question. I hope I've given you enough information for you at least to look into. If you're curious about this stuff, if you want to find out the value of OnyxCoin yourself or like learn more, go to OnyxCoin here. Go to their website. Click on the white paper. If you just want to read it from here, read the white paper. Read all of it. I think the white paper, in my opinion, I would treat it like a sales pitch, right? Someone's selling you something. It might be good information, it might be accurate, but understand they're going to butter that bread, right? They're going to butter the bread. Don't treat it like it's everything that it says. It's everything that it says it is what it wants to be, is what it strives to achieve, and more, of course. There's new things happening all the time with this stuff, and they've got more stuff coming out. The point system is developing. They're only going to be developing this thing more as the cycle goes on, as time goes on, right? This thing, I think, really does have longevity. And I actually think a lot of people are sleeping on this. Unfortunately, and I genuinely believe, I've actually said this before, I think this thing is the Solana of this cycle, whether people believe it or not, right? And maybe comparing it to Solana in terms of fundamentals isn't fair, but in terms of growth. But the thing is, a lot of people are sleeping on this. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. You want me to tell you why? You want me to tell you why the whole damn crypto space doesn't talk about this? Why it's only people like me, Economic Ninja, Crypto Future, maybe some other people that talk about it, right? Some haters who used to talk so much trash about this thing and said it was going to zero, and now they're on board with it. You know who you are. Welcome to the fold, by the way. We're proud to have you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your past. It matters about your future, right? The reason why I think nobody's talking about OnyxCoin, when I say nobody, I don't just mean nobody. Why these large accounts, excluding Economic Ninja, are not talking about OnyxCoin. These accounts with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers, right? People like Crypto Banter, Crypto Lark Davis, and no offense to these guys. It's no offense to them at all. Ivan on Tech, Coin Bureau, right? There's Altcoin Daily. The reason why they're not talking about this project, you want to know why it is? And this is something that's crazy. Because everybody acts like the fact that these guys don't talk about it, they act like this illegitimizes OnyxCoin, okay? I think this makes it legitimate as fuck, actually. Pardon my language, but I think this legitimizes it beyond all belief.
they're not talking about it because they're not being paid to talk about it, because OnyxCoin is a decentralized autonomous organization. It's a DAO. I'm not going to pay them to talk about it. You're not going to pay them. The DAO's not going to pay them to talk about it. I talk about this thing twice a day. I don't get paid to talk about it. These guys, these huge accounts in crypto that run the space, they get paid to talk about things. They're paid shills. And it's no offense to any of them, but it happens. I know that for a fact with all these accounts that I've named off. That doesn't mean every project they talk about they're getting paid to, but whenever they come up with a new exciting project, it's paid shills. They're being paid to shill it. Nobody's being paid to shill OnyxCoin, and it's working its way up to the top 100. It's going to have a market. They're developing and they're making all this stuff, you guys. The reason why I'm comparing OnyxCoin to what Solana did last cycle in growth, and why it will continue to do that, and it will, I think everybody will look back and they'll be like, how the hell did I not know about this? The reason why is because you didn't have the big accounts telling you about it. The reason why the big accounts didn't tell you about it is because they're not being paid to talk to you about it, right? That's how it is in this space. And some people act like that illegitimizes OnyxCoin. I feel like that in itself is a stamp of approval. That to me says we got a winner, man. You've got a coin. I have watched people, all these accounts, these big accounts, they'll go on crypto bubbles, they'll go on coin market cap. They will see all these coins that are going up in value, right? They do their thing, what's up the most in the last day. And they'll do the thing that they do whenever a coin goes up without them that they're not holding. They'll just skim over it. They'll see OnyxCoin as the biggest coin that was growing. Back in January, this coin was growing all the time. When they're pulling up their coin market cap, their crypto bubbles, and the biggest bubble is OnyxCoin, the biggest percentage, you click the 24% growth in the last 24 hours. Sorry, not 24%, the 24-hour growth percentage. And it's at the top of the list. They never mention it. They don't talk about it like, oh, whatever this thing is, right? They don't talk about it because they don't know about it, because they don't want to look into it. If it's pumping without them, it must be a scam. They didn't hear about it. Nobody reached out to them. That's not how it is, right? And I've seen coins like this go before where they pump and nobody talks about it. And that's the best. You know you have a winner when it does well without all the paid shilling. And this thing does very well without all the paid shilling, man. What happens, and there's not going to be paid shilling, but what happens when these big accounts start to catch on? What happens when they come around? What happens when we're doing all this growth now? What happens when it gets the recognition that it wants, that it needs, that it deserves? What happens when that simple thing happens alongside with all the other fundamental valuable things that are going on with OnyxCoin, right? It's inevitable. This thing is going to be worth multiple dollars at some point. It's going to be worth several dollars. And then maybe in the next cycle, maybe in the cycle after, right? It's going to take time. And I think it'll be here. I think this cycle is the real cycle where we're going to see tremendous growth. I think next cycle, we can also see tremendous growth from like the low to the high. But this cycle is the one, man. And from the current price, OnyxCoin still has 100x capabilities. If not like 80x capabilities or more. Do we have multi-100x capabilities? We're at a 400 and something $million market cap now. Yes, but no. I would say we have like 100 plus X percentage or 100x plus capabilities, but maybe between 100x and 200x, right? But not quite 200x. I don't know, man. I'm running out of steam. I think I said everything that I needed to say. I just freeform this stuff, man. I don't have a script, right? So sorry it's not perfect, but hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Take care of yourselves. That's why this is my biggest bag. That's why. The more that I find out about this stuff, the more bullish I am on it, right? And anybody who's concerned about this being a scam, I think that they're working in the dark because when you have a gem, you don't show it to the whole world. Like you work in the dark. You do your best work in the dark. People catch on. They'll see it for what it is. We'll see. We'll either be vindicated or we'll be fools. But I think if we were to be fools, I've been in this space for 10 years now. Going on 11 years now. I've been doing technical analysis for 9 years now. I've seen the scams. This thing is not behaving like a scam at all. Right? It's something different. It's something special. It really is. I'll see you on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.